long does it take to become an advanced rider? I get that question quite a lot. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. Hello there, and welcome. So a question I get asked a lot is, how long is it going to take to make me an advanced rider? And interestingly, over the years, it's a question you get asked for training in general. How long is it going to take me to get my licence? How long will it take me to get my CBT? Now, of course, we want to have a rough idea of how long something's going to take because we have to budget for it as well. We haven't all got very deep, endless pockets. But it's a very difficult question to answer conclusively. So basically, as with any training, with motorcycle training, it's going to depend on your knowledge, what you're capable of doing, how quickly you learn, and your natural aptitude. There's often a thought that you hear that motorcycle instructors, training schools bring people back for training, won't give them a CBT certificate because they're trying to make more money out of them. I can honestly say in my experience of the industry, from where I've worked, that is absolutely not the case. We don't prolong training if we don't need to. What we're looking for is for somebody to be competent and safe. There always seems to be an attitude that I've noticed, even since I started driving and riding myself. Anyone can ride a motorbike or anyone can drive a car. It's seen as something that's very simplistic, very easy, and if you can't do it, then there's got to be a problem with you. Now, I completely disagree with that. I think driving and riding is one of the most complex skills that most people on a day-to-day basis will ever become involved in. The fact that we don't necessarily train people to a very high standard and we don't look at ongoing development in there is just something to do with the way that this country has operated for some time. And of course, when driving tests were first created, there was a lot less cars on the road. But things have changed, but sadly, even though the driving test has evolved, I personally don't think that the way that we test and train has evolved enough to keep pace with modern standards. I always think about whether it's a ship's captain, an airline pilot or a train driver. Nobody would expect you to just take to an aircraft, a plane or a train and have a run round the block or a quick flight or a quick tour around the bay and go, yeah, I'll be alright with that, get on with it. You expect that you're going to have to do a lot of training, you will be reassessed on a regular basis, and that your competence is good so you can operate those modes of transport. So why is it that cars and motorcycles are so different? Why is it that we think that they are so easy to operate and that it's just in everyone's ability to do it and do it well? So in particular, I get asked a lot about how long will it take to complete the Enhanced Rider Scheme. Now, we know that the Enhanced Rider Scheme, and advanced, if you like, as per IAM or ROSPA, is slightly different. And I suppose the core difference is here. The Enhanced Rider Scheme doesn't have a test. It's designed that if you passed your test yesterday, you can go on the course and you may come away with a certificate. There's also the ability within the ERS scheme that after your initial assessment, if the instructor thinks you're all good, he'll just give you a certificate and that'll be the end of the matter. Well, it's very unlikely you're going to go to the IAM or ROSPA and do that unless you're particularly good on a motorcycle, you've got some previous knowledge and experience. They will test you, so there is a end goal in that respect. The problem with ERS is there isn't a test, and very often that's a good thing, but when it comes to saying to someone how long will it take, it's something that you can't easily answer. And I'd appreciate from a financial point of view, that's not always easy. If we look at the Enhanced Rider Scheme, it consists of 7 core modules. A structured planned approach to riding, defensive riding and hazard awareness, progress and use of speed, overtaking and filtering, bends and corners, slow control, and developing the correct rider attitude. I have seen over the years people that have already got Enhanced Rider Scheme certificates, and riding is variable, shall we say. In one case, the guy would never have even passed a test, let alone get an advanced test. And I think it's sad when you see people come to you and you look at what they've done previously and you think, you've been taken out by an instructor, he's taken you out for 3 or 4 hours, and then he's gone, yeah, you can have a certificate. But unfortunately, there's areas of the training and the knowledge and the skills that are missing. As instructors, we don't get that many opportunities to find motorcyclists who want to improve their skills. So I think when you get someone come to you, you have to do your best for them. And that's not about taking money off people. That's about being honest and genuine and saying, look, This is where those skill sets need to be, really, for you to be better and safer. And I need to see you be able to ride in a way that illustrates those. An ERS certificate should not be a certificate for turning up. It's the same way as a CBT certificate. It's not a certificate of attendance. It's a certificate of demonstrating competence. For example, if someone comes along and has no idea what a structure planned approach to riding is, they have very little hazard awareness, they're too slow in some places, too fast in others, if they've got no idea about counter steering, if they don't know what limit point analysis is, why would you, having gone out with them and had maybe a fair ride, but they've got clearly very little knowledge, why would you give them a certificate? Because they haven't reached what is required within those core modules. Now, that might just sound like that's a technicality, but ultimately these core modules were designed on a revision to look at why motorcyclists are having collisions, what is the main cause of collisions, and therefore what's the greatest omission, if you like, of motorcyclist skills. So they're there for a reason, and we need to be addressing those. I think it's important to understand as well that there's a difference between knowledge and skill. You can have a lot of knowledge, but if you can't put that into practice in a given situation, then you haven't got the skill, and you need both to be a good motorcyclist. Being able to quote back roadcraft or the highway code is useful up to a point, but when you're out on your machine, if you're not in the right place, if you're not at the right speed, if you're not seeing what's up the road, if you're not responding to hazards and appreciating what those hazards mean to you, you don't have the skill to ride the motorcycle safely. Similarly, you may be very good at handling the motorcycle, but if you don't have the knowledge of the highway code and a bit of law, for example, you're likely to fall down on the way that you ride because you're not appreciating a lot of the road markings, road signs and legal requirements. So the two do go hand in hand. And that's the purpose of training. So when you first start off on your journey of advanced or enhanced motorcycle riding, the whole point is that you're likely to get a lot of guidance and advice to start with. But as those competencies grow, and that's where a good instructor is going to look at how you're developing, they should be able to sit back and observe and see that your ride has changed. The point of training is not to have a day's experience, pick up a couple of little bits and then wander off. It's for you to actually have the skill and the competence that when you're on your own, you are safer, you're more switched on, you're seeing more, you're appreciating more, and everything that you think about is making sure that motorcycle is always in the correct space, at the correct time, at the correct speed. You should be able to ride without constant guidance and adjustments from an instructor. So I think if you're going to go and do some extra training, don't expect it to be over in a flash. Some riders think that when they go along for the Enhanced Rider Scheme, if they go out for a couple of hours and get a certificate, they've had a good result. They think, yeah, my riding's brilliant, he's given me a certificate, we're all good, and off we go. That's not necessarily a good result for you at all, because what else have you actually learned? What skills and knowledge have you acquired that you're going to be able to use on a daily basis of your own volition without some form of prompting? It's very unlikely you're going to gain much in a few hours. This is why advanced training is built up over a period of time. Normally speaking, when I do the Enhanced Rider Scheme, I'm with my students over a period of weeks. I maybe see them once a week, once a fortnight, and we cover the different modules, and of course they all overlap in one way or another. And we build that up, and then mid-time there's practice involved, so when they come back we can see how that's developed. It's an ongoing process. And so in answer to the question, how long does it take to become an advanced rider, the point at which you might get a certificate or pass an advanced test is variable. But even when you've got that under your belt, becoming an advanced rider is a daily occurrence. It's all about how you think, how you maintain your knowledge, and how you maintain your skill set. We can all become rusty after a break, and if we pay less attention to what we're doing, then yet again, it's highly likely that our skills may blunt a little bit, we're not as sharp as we normally are. So yes, sadly, it's a very open-ended question. How long? It depends on a whole host of factors. So until next time, ride safe and take care.